Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hello to everybody there in the chat. Welcome to all the members. I hope you guys are ready because we have a lot to talk about. Tom Cruise is trying to recruit Taylor Swift. Grant Cardone is selling this mansion on a cryptocurrency platform. So many other things are happening. So thank you to my mods for being here because we're going to be busy. I'm Natalie. This is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we talk about the Scientology news that has the internet buzzing. Talk about my time in that cult too and leaving with my family. So when you hit that subscribe button, set the notification bell as well so you get notifications when we go live. All right, everybody, let's jump into this hot mess that we like to call the cult of Scientology. Let's start out with let's start out with a little bit of Chicago. Let's go to Chicago with XENU Project. This I thought was hilarious. This is outside Chicago Scientology. Sometimes you just got to be strong in your messaging to not go into the cult. And we're here to prevent people from joining Scientology, educate them, right? Educate them so they can make their own choice. But it's not just people. Check it out.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Yes, run from the cult. Run from the cult. Run faster. Good boy. Stay out of there. We have no idea what they would do to a pigeon.
I just thought that was funny. Who doesn't love a little bit of pigeon humor? Pigeons stopping from going into Scientology. All right, let's jump over now and talk about this Tom Cruise thing. Do you guys remember we were looking at that video of Tom Cruise at one of Taylor Swift's concerts? And I was like, is Tom Cruise trying to recruit Taylor Swift and maybe her beau? Are they engaged? The football guy, Travis Kelce? I don't think they're engaged. They're just dating, right? Tell me in the chat. Jump in the comments if you're catching this on the replay. I do think they're just dating. I feel like I would have heard if they were engaged, but let's be honest. I probably might not have heard it too. Let's take a look because there's an article that's out that talks about Scientologist Tom Cruise's plan to recruit Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. We all know that Tom Cruise has really been slacking in the Scientology recruitment department. It's been a while since he's actually brought someone into Scientology. Since, Tom Cruise, he brought a lot of people in Scientology like, did he? Did he? He got that giant medal, surely, because he brought so many people into Scientology, right? Like, nobody that I'm aware of. If you were recruited by Tom Cruise into Scientology, I'd love to hear from you, Natalie at lifeafteraCult.com. Let's talk about it. But in the meantime, so let's go over and take a look at this article here about Tom Cruise trying to recruit Taylor Swift. As a devout Swiftie, Tom Cruise hoping to form a special friendship with Taylor Swift, but her camp is keeping watch. So apparently Tom Cruise has been living in London for a while now, and that's why he got invited to a couple of Taylor Swift things. Apparently there was one there earlier this year. Let's see if it says anything specific about how he's going about doing this. Talks about the famous faces that he was there at the concert with the adorable Swifties. Step forward, Tom Cruise, who looked happier than he did the day he famously jumped on Oprah Winfrey's couch. That's back when he was dating Katie Holmes. You guys all remember the couch jumping, that whole thing. Now, Taylor is 34, so I feel like she's had some good life experience now. I do not think that she's going to fall for this, nor is her beau, Travis Kelce. Here's Tom Cruise next to Prince William. How awkward is this picture? It just looks so awkward. It gives, I can't believe I have to stand next to this guy and take a picture. Look at William's face. That is the fakest smile I've ever seen for Prince William. And do you blame him? I don't know who's mortified to stand next to who. I really don't. It's very much giving. We're not friends in real life. So anyways, this article goes on, talks some about the history of Tom's love life, that he's still devoted to Scientology. It says it certainly seems like there's been a sea change in the way that Tom has conducted his personal life in recent times, which has helped him what is that word? Reingratiate himself with friends he'd previously alienated. In April, he was the MVP guest at Victoria Beckham's 50th birthday party, wowing fellow revelers with his energetic dance moves and confirming reports that he'd finally buried the hatchet with the Beckhams. Remember, he tried to get the Beckhams into Scientology, and I think that was kind of the thing where they were like, nah, no. They kind of put him, like, distant friend zone acquaintance. So looks like that they made up. We'll have to see. I just feel like Swifties everywhere. You need to protect Taylor and her beau from Scientology and the claws of Tom Cruise. Or maybe like this, claws of Tom Cruise, because he'd be down here and Taylor Swift is up here. Claws of Tom Cruise. All right, now let's jump over to and talk about this whole Grant Cardone thing. Grant Cardone is really, how do we say it? Being trolled, except it's all factual. We're going to look at a couple of clips having to do with him. This is Scientologist Grant Cardone, very high up on the Scientology bridge to total freedom. Also a huge donor to Scientology. He has that whole 10X thing. People who have been involved with it and left have talked about the fact that it's a cult, that is similar behavior and things to Scientology, which makes sense because Grant Cardone says he uses L. Ron Hubbard's technology to grow his businesses to get them to be as successful as they are, which to me means that he is using Scientology practices. So there probably is a lot of shady things going on there. But let's take a look at this because apparently he is liquidating his home. Miami real estate mogul Scientologist lists $42 million mansion on cryptocurrency platform. So it says it's one of the most luxurious properties ever to be tokenized on a blockchain and listed for sale. Check it out there. They sure do like to make those houses just bright white. It seems like when they're on the water. I guess it is pretty. It is a 13,000 square foot water home with 7 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms. Lavish amenities such as a movie theater, spa, 6-car garage, a saltwater infinity pool, and private beachfront access, offering panoramic views. It was designed by acclaimed interior designer, blah, blah, blah. And it was an Architectural Digest, probably before he bought it, because he bought it from somebody famous. And right now it's leaving my head who he bought it from, but it probably says it in this article. Anyways, let's, you know what? I wanted to see... Look at that. Let's see if we can see. Oh, no, that's just that picture. Let me go back there. $42 million. I wonder if Scientology's... Oh, Tommy Hilfiger. That's right. Tommy Toontown. He bought the house from Tommy Hilfiger like in 21 or so. I think it was around that time, if I remember correctly. Amy, I'm with you. 8 bathrooms. Who would want to clean all that? I'm sure they have people. I wonder if they pay their people well. That'll be the next scandal to come out. But the story is because he's doing it on this cryptocurrency platform, which real estate, my understanding of it, has been sold that way before. I've had no dealings with it. I'm actually curious about it. He bought it for 20-something million, like I said, 21. And now he's selling it for 48 million. So let's see how this happens. And guess who his realtor is? No, not me. I'm not licensed in Miami. Guess who his realtor is? Do you know? Can you guess in the chat? Although if you read the article, you might already know. And if you're catching this on the replay, jump in those comments. The realtor is his wife, Elena, who is a realtor with EXP, who follows a business model of it being more kind of like an MLM, because you get people under you who get people under them. It's a very different business model. So it's no surprise that is, that appealed to her given their business model for the other situation they got going on with this whole 10X things, 10X kids, 10X women, 10X shoes. I don't know what it is. The shoes part I made up, but you get the point. So also some Grant Cardone news. Anybody here watch Too Danny, Too Furious? He has a big channel. Actually, Too Danny, Too Furious has 2 big channels here on YouTube. And he did a little ditty about Grant Cardone there, about that Scientologist making millions, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Grant Cardone clip. All right. This dude is like a notorious hustle culture / scammer / Scientologist. So I'm really curious to see how he would have us make money.
Who would give me $100 right now? Please, just walk up here and give me 100 then.
I don't really need to be any
It's 100. 250s. My man.
He just asked for money and people run up to give him money.
There you go. There you go.
Who are these people? Is he going to do something for them or what? No, he's just saying thank you and he's letting them go back to sit down. Is this guy like a human wishing well? Why? What?
Play now. Thank you. Okay. No more. No more. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you.
No more. No more. All right. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Fine. That's fine.
Okay. Did I build value?
I don't think you did, man.
I'm going to give all this money to charity, by the way, okay?
You should give it back to the people who gave it to you. Now, this TikTok we can learn a lot from. It ends with, how can you make $1,600 right now? And it really inspired me. And yeah, I honestly think that this is a great method to try. Who's going to give me $100? Excuse me, who's going to give me $100? Don't know if you can hear that, but my son just started crying in the other room. I don't think he's going to give me $100. I do.
Just hilarious. Hilarious. He is. Hey, Kelly Copter. Oh my God, he's such a scammer. Yes, Kelly, we are taking a look at a clip from one of your videos too here. It's so true though. It is. It's crazy, Sparkling Dragon. This is hilarious. It absolutely is. Oh, and thank you so much, Jen Nelson. I appreciate that. Thank you for gifting 5 Scientology Life After a Cult memberships. Mahalo and hip, hip, hooray to you. Hip, hip, hooray. I appreciate that. Thank you, Jen. Okay, now, so if you can stomach that, if you could stomach 2 things we had to talk about with Grant Cardone, we're going to move on. Everybody okay? Everybody still with me? We doing all right? Right? Make sure y'all head over and show some aloha to that like button, because you know what Scientology hates? When you like and subscribe. So if you'd like to piss them off, put another nail in that coffin, hit the like button. And if you really want to get to them, subscribe. All right. Let's see. Let's go over now and look at some Leah Remini lawsuit news update. This is from Radar. They're saying that Leah Remini has asked court to assign the judge presiding over Danny Masterson's sex assault case to her defamation suit against Scientology. Now, the most recent thing we heard, if I'm remembering right, we heard Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology. He just covers these cases so well. And I usually try to watch that to kind of just understand what's happening. But she had lost her legal team. And the legal team of one of the Jane Does had to bail out because of a conflict of interest. Now it seems, I wonder if she got that remedied and has more lawyers. I don't know. The point of this story is mostly that she wants to get the judge presiding over Danny Masterson's sex assault case to her defamation suit against Scientology, which you know what? Which I guess makes sense. So that's something we're going to keep an eye on and see how that unfolds and learn more about what's going to happen there and what's going to happen with the lawsuit. Hopefully things are continuing to move forward, because any day somebody's suing Scientology, it's a good day. It's a good day. Hey, Kimberly in Japan. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Good to see you here. Okay, so now, did you guys know that there is a channel here on YouTube doing a book club? Doing a book club. How fun is that? And they're starting with Jenna Miscavige's book, Beyond Belief, which I'm re-listening to. I read it, but I read it like when it came out years ago. So I've been listening to it on Audible, which I really enjoy. So this is a channel. Let's take a look at who this is here. SPTV Book Club. And the channel is Primal Scream here on YouTube. And again, she's starting a book club, starting with the first book being Beyond Belief by Jenna Miscavige. Let's take a little peek.
I'm assuming you have read Annette at least through chapter 21. We're going to cover 11 to 21 today. Last week, we talked a little bit about just how stoic Jenna is and how the writing is just very, very matter of fact. And that there's very little emotion. And I think that might be on purpose to portray how in Scientology you're not supposed to have emotion, but it's really really interesting the way that it's. So I'm assuming you have read Annette at least.
So if you are interested in doing book club, which it sounds really cool, go ahead and check out her channel. Evil Blue Eye, mahalo for becoming a member, my friend. Hip, hip, hooray to you. Thank you for that. Interesting though, right? Book club. I don't think I've ever belonged to a book club one time, except I didn't like it. Were we doing it online? No, they were doing it in person. I went to one book club meeting. It was at the library, but I always thought it would be that's one of those things I thought it'd be so great to belong to a book club. But then I was like, that means I got to go somewhere, like sometimes at night. Not always my favorite thing, but it always sounded like this fun, romantic idea, just this great thing to do. And I think that it is. So being able to do this now on YouTube, I think is really interesting. So interesting channel, interesting to me. Hey, Eric Rader, I saw you go zooming by in the chat there. Welcome. Let's go take a look now at Kelly Copter. Kelly Copter had a special guest on the other day, and they were sharing amazing information about Scientology, the FBI, charitable contributions. She had Fat Grammy on. We are going to take a look. I've got links down below. I did them ahead of time today to make sure I do them, and do not forget to all of these videos, including this one with Kelly Copter, that you can go ahead and check out. So let's take a little look.
In the United States is their real estate scam. I mean, as long as they don't get a loan to purchase a building, as long as it comes from the parishioners or from donations, they can buy it for $1, sell it for $10 million, and they don't have to claim taxes when they sell it. There's no capital gains, because as long as it comes in from donations, if they get a loan, that's different. So that's why they have everybody pitch in to buy these buildings, because they know they don't have to pay. They have that as an asset on the books, and they don't have to pay capital gains if they do sell it. Or if they renovate it for free with all of the RPF and the Sea Org people.
Yep, making their own furniture in the Sea organization there for these ideal organizations, having the members shell out all their money for it, and then they got to pay rent. Can you imagine if you bought a house and you're living in it, right? You paid it, you got all the money, you paid off the house, but you still got to pay rent? That is what's happening to Scientology organizations around the world. It is an amazing real estate scam that David Miscavige has happening there. And he's been at it for, 20 years into this? So fantastic video. Check out the whole thing below. I absolutely love it. And I love Kelly Copter. And Mona is awesome. She's got great information. We shared a link to a video not that long ago, and I know you can find it there I think it's on Kelly's channel. Where she shows us how to fill out a form to report to the IRS? But anyways, Fat Grammy has a ton of great information. You can catch her there on Kelly's channel to see that whole video. Lots to learn there. Let's go over and take a look now at Keith, who's in Kentucky and has a little interaction with the police while he's out there protesting Scientology.
I've done this in Philadelphia too. I'm practicing my First Amendment right. Yeah.
So I guess they called and were concerned about the filming through the windows or something rather.
I'm not allowed to film inside.
Film inside?
Yeah.
From outside?
Yeah.
Well, you're in a public place.
I did nothing wrong.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
It's just like, why? What? Okay, just tell me this. And we're going to have to check in with Osa too. Osa, hold on. We should involve the boss man. Osa, wake up. Okay, here's the deal. Why don't you just let your people know that people can videotape in a public area and video anything their line of sight can see? So someone showing up to videotape outside a Scientology organization is not illegal. They're exercising their First Amendment right. One that you hide behind all the time. So I feel like you know this. And it would be hard to get the word out to Scientology organizations all over the world. Save them the trouble of wasting resources in all of these different communities all over the world and calling the police when nothing is happening and no laws are being broken. In some areas, you can do chalk. In most of them, as long as it can be washed off. Always check in your city, especially if you're outside the United States, because a lot of other countries just are not as open to those things. So tell them, why don't you tell them so they know and don't waste resources? Instead, you're making it my problem, or our problem, I should say, and the police's problem, law enforcement's problem, to educate staff, but that they can actually do this. It's like you only want your people to know about the First Amendment when you are hiding behind it. We're on to you, Osa. But remember, if you're ready to leave Scientology, you can reach out to me. I will be the first person here for you. We can help you with all kinds of things in leaving. So I poke fun, but I know you're overworked, underpaid, probably undernourished, but stick with me. Stick with me. You know how to find me, Natalie@lifeafteraccult.com. Okay, so now let's head over to Boston, where Cub Champion 16 is having a chat with some locals in the neighborhood, walking by. Maybe they know about Scientology, maybe they don't. The most interesting conversations come out of this because people are really getting educated on what Scientology is and what's going on. It's another side of protesting that when you have
at all
the time and the opportunity to chat someone and fill them in, do, because they now know the truth about Scientology and they tell somebody. And you did it on a live stream, so anyone watching your stream knows about it. And then somebody like me might share it. And then anybody watching now knows about it. And so on and so on and so on. So it might seem like if you're there protesting and live streaming, whether you have one person watching or you have 5,000 people watching, that content will be seen and you're getting the message out. And who knows, somebody might catch your video or a clip of it later on where they're just at that point in their life where they're thinking of leaving Scientology. Or maybe they're in a different type of cult and they realize, hey, there's some similarities here. And then they leave and they get help. So let's go over to Boston and see what is happening when he met some people outside of Scientology Boston.
You cannot sweat out toxins,
but it puts you in a delusional state.
Yeah.
And
then,
dehydration.
And then what happens is they give them, like, let's say 20 times the amount of vitamins that you're supposed to take daily, and they also give them niacin.
They give you fat soluble vitamins, and you can lead to health issues.
Yep. And a lot
water
of
soluble ones you'll just get.
And a lot of them too have a limp. He doesn't have too much of a bad limp, but everyone who's in here ends up walking out with a limp. So I don't know if it's because, like I said, the recommended usage of whatever vitamins they take like times 10 or times 20. Seriously.
That is true. Not just on the purification rundown, based on the book, Clear Body, Clear Mind by L. Ron Hubbard. Not only people doing the purification rundown take extremely large and dangerous levels of niacin. This we know because of this amazing thing called science. Scientology. Not the kind of science too, like Dianetics, the science of the mind. Not that. Actual science. Actual medical people have weighed in on this and they are not down with it. They're not. So what often happens then is people within Scientology, because they did the purification rundown and took such ridiculously dangerous levels of multiple supplements and vitamins, that they do it outside of that too, right? If 2 is good, 10 must be better. I don't know if it's something like that, but I did notice that was my experience in Scientology. So interesting that they would share that. Now let's head over to Chicago. We're going to look at a clip from Free XENU Project where, again, talking to a neighbor, finding out what's up, getting a feel on the pulse around Scientology. What do they think about it? Let's take a look.
Do you know anything about Scientology?
A little bit. I've watched a couple of documentaries, and that's about the extent of my knowledge.
What's your opinion of it?
I think that from what the documentaries have sort of indicated, it seems like a really nice tax shelter. But other than that, it kind of feels like a cult.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you. I actually know some people that had to escape from it.
I love that. It feels like a cult. I don't know a ton about it, but it gives cult. Every day, all day I walk by and it gives cult. I'm getting cult. So true. Just blows my mind. Like I think about the 35 years I spent in Scientology, right? And there were some things that made me cringe, But I did not make the cult connection till even when I was leaving. I wasn't seeing it that way yet. I just knew that it was abusive. It wasn't okay. It just was this horrible situation. And I had so many things happen to my family and I that we could have left just 100 times over. We would have had a reason that would have justified us leaving. And it still took as long as it took. But afterwards, and then the more I learned, and you know what it took? It took understanding how the rest of the world functioned and what legitimate sources of, when it comes to mental health and all of that, what legitimate sources, what real experts in that area, how they described it, really helped me understand that it really is a cult. And then it took me even longer to recognize it as a human trafficking cult. It is not my favorite thing to admit that I was in a human trafficking cult, or that my sister was trafficked at 14 from Hawaii to Los Angeles and sent to the international base over there at Golden Era Productions. But it's true. That is what happened. And I love that. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is walking around going, oh, it gives cult. Yeah, we know that's a cult. That is why you are isolated in Scientology and you cannot study other things. Can you study psychology? No. Why do you need that? You got Dianetics, the modern science of mental health, filled with all of that stuff, right? So that's why you're not allowed to study. You're not allowed to go see a therapist or a psychologist or seek mental health treatment, because it is in direct competition with Scientology and what L. Ron Hubbard was trying to do. But now, you know what? Part of me wishes he was still around to see this fall and be torn down by the children and grandchildren of the people who were in Scientology when you were L. Ron Hubbard. And most importantly, the rest of the world. All of the people never in Scientology, but who are all in on tearing down this cult. I just wish. I hope he is somewhere watching this. I really do. I really do. Okay, let's go again to Chicago with Windy City Thayenwash, who shares some truth with a new recruit or potential recruit who came out of the Scientology building. Let's take a look.
There's more information on there than you're hearing inside. Yes. So those are the things they do wrong that they won't tell you about. So do you know something about that? They're human traffickers. They're child traffickers. They're money. So the Chase Wave, if you look at the scan code there, you're going to see where they've abused the elder. They've abused children. There's an older woman that works here every day. She has to write letters by the hundreds to all of their old members to try to get them to come back on course. It's just a money element. So you'll notice when you're in there, you'll get a couple of free elements, and then they're going to pay. You're going to have to pay for everything else after that. You'll see a lot of information on there. They believe in.
That's right. Letting them know what's what. And then that guy, turns out he says that he was pretty much just, in fact, do I have a clip of that? You know what? Do I have a clip of that? Is this the clip we just watched? Hold on. He actually, I think this might be the clip. He actually admits why he was really there in the Scientology building.
Jessica? Jessica?
You know Jessica?
Yeah, I do know Jessica.
Okay, so I met her.
Yep.
I just wanted to hang out with her.
And that's fair. Again, there's a reason they have attractive women on the street.
I get you. I get you.
Take care now.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, I pretty much believe I can handle myself.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah, so he pretty much went in there just because the body router, as they're called in Scientologists, was an attractive female, and he was just trying to hang out with her. He wasn't trying to even get into Scientology or learn more about this cult. And this is a tactic that Scientology uses. When my mom was in her 20s, back in the day, when I was a young one running around Waikiki, I was like 7 and 9 with my sister. My mom was a body router, and she was very attractive. And that's what they would often do and still do. Put attractive men and women out there to try and recruit people into Scientology. So many people that I met over the years during my time in Scientology, because I was always curious, how did you get into Scientology? Especially I was curious about adults, because I was sitting there like, okay, I was born into this. I like never had a choice. I'm not sure I have a choice now, but how did you end up here? Of course, I couldn't word it like that. It was like, oh, how did you find Scientology? Oh, I dated someone. Well, they would say the 2D, the second dynamic, because in Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard says there are 8 urges towards survival in life. Your first dynamic is just you. Your second dynamic is sex, children, you know, your romantic relationships. And so many of them, it was basically a thirst trap. They were thirst trapped into Scientology before thirst traps were even a thing that I knew about. And they're still doing it today. Thirst trap. That's what some of these body routers are. And you know what? It works, or they wouldn't be doing it. Let's be honest. Let's take a look over at Mindy Willens in LA. They took a banner. There's this big banner that says Scientology abuses kids, and they put it above the freeway. And you might remember the banner because Ham It Up again. Nancy, tell me her handle. Ham It Up or Ham It Up again. She got the banner when she was in Los Angeles protesting, and she had put it up, had it on the freeway, and she's no longer in town. And so it was handed over. And now Mindy Willens, Dan Walks LA was there. Somebody else was there as well, putting it up over the freeway around the corner from Scientology's Celebrity Center. Because that's just a great place to be doing this. Let's take a look. This is Mindy's stream.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You can definitely see it. Looks great. Oh, yeah.
It is so cool. In fact, let's take a look too over. Let's take a look also at Dan Walks LA, who is there in his stream, where we get another look at the banner, and we can even hear some of the horn love they were getting.
But this is pretty dense. I like this because you see that, and then you come around the corner and see Celebrity Center, and it's like, all right. The Hawks are, yes! That's so great! Yeah. Traffic will slow to a crawl, yeah. That one day.
Just love that. And of course, though, so many people are driving by, including, did you see that even Confident Chris went driving by and caught it on video? Let's see. Do I have this pulled up? Yep. Take a look. You know, the honks, you can see him waving there. I can see Mindy. I don't know who the other person is. If someone knows, tell me in the chat so we can give that person a shout out. I know Dan Walks LA was there, Mindy was there, but it looks like there's a third person. So we will have to see. All right. Wasn't that great though? I just loved it. Petty Lane says the cops showed up. You can't leave it there or attach it. We need these everywhere. Yeah. So then for a period of time, you know, people just stand there holding it up. That works too. I absolutely love that. All right. Now let's go take a look at, speaking of Confident Chris, he was probably heading over to the blue buildings there and had a little bit of what looked like a silent protest. This part of his stream that we caught. A bunch of you clipped this actually and sent it to me. Take a look.
You're going to have to keep moving on through. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? So it's a permitted event, and you're not welcome to this event. The sidewalk's open for you guys to pass through, so that's what you can do. It's cool you're getting content from this, man, but I'm relaying the info to you, right? Like I told Solomon last time, just don't get in trouble.
Just don't get in trouble.
You understand what I'm saying?
And this guy is hired security, by the way.
All right. Anyway.
And then, like, that's that. He just walks away. Yep. I love the way Chris protests. Yep. Absolutely. Stacy, he's a hired security. He's hired security. He's not a, yep. He's a rent-a-cop. That's right, Lily. A permitted event with no guests. With no guests. And it goes to show, too, how desperate Scientology is to do whatever they're doing by shutting down this street, that they don't care that it looks like they had this event and nobody showed up. The event is to cover up whatever it is that they're doing, that they needed the street shut down. It wasn't really ever about the event. It never is with them. They're using it to cover up, to cover up, to cover up. Let's see here. Anne says little Davy's best friend, little Tommy, has created more exes and or divorce SPs than anyone, right? That is correct. David Miscavige's best friend, Tom Cruise, has created more suppressive persons than anybody on the planet that I'm aware of. In fact, he has managed to turn every woman he has been married to into a suppressive person. So he either has a type or he actually creates it. I don't know. Generally, though, in Scientology, there is the belief, which is not Scientology themselves will use L. Ron Hubbard when it suits them. They are supposed to follow every rule to the letter, but they don't. When it doesn't suit David Miscavige, they alter that up a little bit. But yeah, Tom Cruise, same thing. He doesn't have to follow those same rules. Vicky B, thank you for becoming a new member. Hip, hip, hooray, and mahalo for being here. Let's see. Antics of a Mama Squirrel says, favorite moment of the day has got to be Natalie flinging little Captain Davy over her shoulder. I just like to send them flying. Windy City Thetan Watch, 100% you have a bigger audience than you think when you interact with people on the street. Very true. Very true. Very true. Kitty says, my mother was a lab tech and she had said how much vitamins that these people take. They are very lucky that they're alive, and alive most times it would kill them. Wow. That is really interesting. That's amazing. Wow. Allie's mom. Hey there. I'm home from the hospital and on the mend. That's fantastic. I'm glad you're feeling better, Allie's mom. I owe you so much. That was a great touch assist over the phone. You got to fill me in on that because I'm not totally tracking. Oh, do you mean like when I was, well, I don't know. You'll have to explain it to me. Okay, so now let's talk about who caught Relatable Reese's video yesterday. I don't even have it clipped up. I got the video ready to pull up because I wanted to go over, you guys know I'm obsessed with this. I just am. I don't know why. I mean, it would seem obvious why, because it's a cult. But there's just something about this whole story that I find absolutely fascinating. And mostly it's Reese's resilience throughout, and the resilience that I think we're going to see, because this is not over for her. This is not over at all. So yesterday she does a video and gives a little bit more information where we learned about how, and if you guys don't know the story, Relatable Reese, in fact, let me pull up the channel. Judy Bug, mahalo for becoming a member. Hip, hip, hooray. Thank you so much. And Anna from Canada, thank you for being a member for 2 months. I appreciate that. Please play Mindy's video yesterday for you, Nat. It's only 1 minute. Loved it so much. You know what? I did see it and I did love it. Mindy made this absolutely adorable video congratulating me on when we hit our 20,000 subscribers. And it was super sweet and I loved it. I should pull that up. Let's see. Okay, so Jazzy Girl saying, yes, I saw Reese's latest stream. Reese is amazing, honestly. So we are going to be getting together on Friday. And honestly, I'm pretty much leaving it up to her on what she wants to talk about and go over. I'm sure this will just be one of multiple videos that we'll be able to do. So we don't need to cram everything into one. And there's so many things because like many of you, I've been watching as a fan and watching this play out mostly recently, because when I was going through, you know, like some of the, when this year is when Tony got diagnosed 3 years ago. And this year has been the most sick that he was, which makes sense because that's what led to him passing as his cancer spread. And my brain scrub, my just kind of like taking a break, which it may not even sound like taking a break, would be I would watch Reese's channel in the last few months and watch what she was going through and how it all played out. And it's just, I think it's a fascinating story. And Casillas, thank you so much for the super chat. Please put a tiny voice, R, to play when you toss him over your shoulder like Bill from SNL. I'll have to look that up. So this whole story has been fascinating because not only does she leave Scientology, right? Then it turns out she's married to not one, but two men who were in this Royal Order of Jesters. As we're learning, allegations are showing, reports are coming out, including her own, that she has receipts for, that they are a sex cult. You even got Masons who try to separate themselves out from this Royal Order of Jesters. It's very mysterious. There's not a loud out on it. And she's going to be exposing this. So let's just pop in here and take a little look.
What's also creepy, I don't know if you know this, President Truman was a jester. And each jester, they're all over the United States. They're actually all over the world. And each jester is called a court. They have a court. So here's Jeff's court. And it's called the President's Court, Court 54. That's because President Truman is from Independence, Missouri, Kansas City. So it's called the President's Court. And they've got all these weird little things. There's a picture of Truman. And it's incredibly creepy. And they've got different courts. Here's Royal Order of Jesters, Court 156, Parkersburg, West Virginia.
It's just so creepy. Come on. Hey. It's okay. Somebody dared to. Hold on. Odin. Hey. Shh. Oh my gosh, you guys. He never goes that crazy doing a live. You guys want to see Odin? Let's see if I can. Come here. Hold on. Can you see him? You can kind of see him. It's, you know what? It's too dark. I've been posting videos, or I've been posting pictures on the community page, which, by the way, I will do. Odin. Hey, it's okay. I will do, I'll put some more videos and stuff, but just so you guys know, I do have some members only content I've been creating on the community page, because I'm trying to just get back onto things and realize that was one of the agreements with members, would have some additional content. I'm doing more. I'm actually writing a lot. There's certain things I want to remember each day as I go through the whole grief process. Now I don't want to sidetrack onto that too much, but check it out. So there's going to be more there for members as well. And there's so much stuff that I'll be sharing with all of you as well. Okay, so back to Reese's video. Oh my gosh, this dog. Hold on. What is he looking? Odin, hey. I don't know what's out there. Something has got him going. So let's actually look at another little bit of this video. Hold on.
So why would you marry another jester? Because at the time, I did not know anything about them. I didn't know what they stood for. I didn't know they were evil. I didn't know they were deviant. I didn't know they were doing the criminal behavior they were doing. I didn't know anything about it. I thought it was just like some part of the Shriners, which it is.
Absolutely fascinating, because she was married to two people who were in the jester. So this is something I know she's going to continue to work through and probably share more on her channel and work through the story, in her own time. I'm glad she's doing this, because she says that there's abuse there. There's things that need to be exposed. And the more that can be done and that can be brought to light, then something can be done about it. So I'm glad that she's doing this. I think it's brave for her to do. And I can't wait to have her on Friday. I think we're going to go live. I think we said 4 p.m. Central Time. I'll get out a notification about it. And we have so many things to talk about. There's so much about, too, her time in Scientology and leaving. And I'm so curious about, what life has been like since, because I thought that I knew because we would see, and we would see a lot. She would share a lot, but come to find out there was all this stuff happening behind the scenes that none of us even knew about. Well, maybe some of you did. I was just watching. So I know that I didn't. So Nicole says, yeah, both child trafficking cults. Interesting. We got to keep an eye on that. All right. So going to keep an eye on that. Going to have her on Friday. I've got my, if you guys saw on, and now I can't remember if I made it members only or I sent it to everybody. I shared a photo of my Uncle Wayne. My mom's brother is in town. He's going to be here later. And I'm actually hoping that he lets me interview him. One, he's a character and a half. Secondly, when my mom got into Scientology and all of that. And I think there's some insight he can share about that I wanted to be able to interview him and get. So hopefully we can do that today. We'll see, because he's only in town for one more day. Question for Natalie to ask Reese. Are the Shriners the same as the Masons? I don't know. Well, I think you have to be a Mason to be a Shriner, or a Shriner to be a Mason. I forget the order, but she's got it down. She goes over it in her video. Okay, I did make Uncle Wayne members only. So you guys will all make him for the first time probably this afternoon, because I hope to chat with him about that. And honestly, I've not talked to him about it. So some of it'll be stuff that I'm hearing for the first time as well. Kitty 1838, mahalo. Thank you for becoming a new member. I appreciate that. Allison Metcalf Palumbo, thanks for the shout out for my Primal Scream channel. Yes, that's the book club. And SPTV Book Club. Join us every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. All right, that's fabulous. That's 6:30 my time. That actually might even work for me. Vintage Mama of 4. Hey, thank you for being a member for 4 months. I really appreciate that and appreciate you being here. Malta McMurchie, thank you so much. Oh, for Odin, I love it. Thank you. Thank you for that super chat there. I appreciate it. Jennifer Maharin, thank you for becoming a new member on the channel. Hip, hip, hooray, and mahalo. Let's see. Anhata on Fire, thank you for the super sticker. Reese Witherspoon plays our Reese in the movie. I love that. That would be fantastic. It's going to be great. Okay, Namfic. While not all Masons are Shriners, all Shriners are Masons. Therefore, a man must become a Master Mason before he becomes a Shriner. Interesting. Okay. And even Anna says, Mason to be a Shriner, then apparently a Shriner has to be invited to become one from another jester. That's right. You have to be invited. If you ask, no, swipe left. They swipe left on you. You can't ask. You have to be invited. And Reese said you have to make a certain amount of money as well. But then she also said she thinks that most of them are just in debt and really more making it look like they make a bunch of money. Interesting. Oh, I just can't wait to dig into this. I need a rabbit hole. All right, everybody. Thank you. And I want to thank so many of you for your kind words and everything. This time when I do the recap, this is my best hour plus of the day, and I'm happy to spend it with you guys. It's all up and down after this, and that is okay. But it means a lot to me that you guys keep showing up, because it helps me show up. It truly does. So before I start crying, thank you so much for being here, you guys, truly. And I hope you guys all get out there and have an amazing cult-free day.